Friends, today I want to talk about a subject that is generating a lot of attention: the personal life of Yaman, a brilliant actor, admired across Europe, pride of Turkey, with projects that once seemed ready to open the doors of Hollywood. But behind the fame, his story looks more like a tragedy than a success tale. It all began with the arrival of Sarah. For many, it was no coincidence. She entered his life, isolated him from true friends, distanced him from his family, and surrounded him with self-interested people. Meanwhile, figures like Roberto and Susanna fed the idea that she was his destiny, when in fact, they were accelerating his downfall. The result has been devastating: fake friendships, toxic relationships, nights of excess, rumors of addiction, and an increasingly unstable character. Even his mother, who should have protected him, ended up pushing him further down that same path. The projects meant to consolidate his career, like Sandokan or El Turco, lost momentum. Today, Can's image is tarnished. From teen idol, he became the subject of scandals and failures. The most painful part is that he seems unaware of it. He clings to Sarah and to a circle that is slowly destroying him. If he doesn't react, he risks losing everything: his career, his health, and maybe even his life. Still, hope remains. Can is young, strong, and talented. If he manages to open his eyes, step away from those influences, and return to his roots, he can be reborn. If not, history will remember Sarah as the woman who dragged him down, and we will witness the fall of a star. For a long time, the name of Demet Özdemir has been inevitably linked with Yaman, and I believe this has weighed heavily on his image. Whenever a rumor arises about him, her name is quickly mentioned. For some, the perfect woman; for others, the one to blame for not being by his side. I find it unfair that Demet's career is reduced to what she supposedly had or didn't have with Can. She is an actress of great talent, with a career that doesn't need to be overshadowed by sentimental comparisons or media gossip. Some see her as a symbol of balance compared to Can's troubles. Others criticize her for choosing different paths. But Demet has shown she can decide and not be easily manipulated. Those who describe her as secondary forget that she has her own audience, her own strength, and a talent that has crossed borders. It is said that some tried to separate them because together they were the golden goose. Maybe that's true, because when two public figures generate such attention, the interests around them are enormous. But blaming Demet for Can's fall is nonsense. No one should carry the weight of someone else's mistakes. She has the right to make choices, to love whom she wants, and to defend her privacy. Some claim she was never the right woman for Can. Others insist she was the great love he lost. But reducing a person to such labels is wrong. Demet is not just Yaman's ex. She is a complete artist, with a solid career and a bright future. What I admire most about her is her ability to remain authentic despite the pressure. I don't see her as a fragile victim, but as a woman who knew how to set boundaries and make decisions in a hostile environment. She has kept working, taking on projects, proving that what truly matters is talent and discipline. It saddens me that even today some try to pit her against Can, as if their story had to be an endless duel. I believe both have the right to write separate chapters. In Demet's case, I'm certain she will continue to grow as an actress and as a woman. She deserves to be recognized for her professional successes, her roles, and the connection she creates with the public, not just for gossip. In the end, what convinces me most is that Demet is much stronger than many think. She is not passive, but a woman capable of influencing and moving forward. And even if some want to reduce her to a memory from the past, to me, she remains a symbol of authenticity in a world dominated by appearances. Some say this is all fantasy, that rumors should not be believed. I agree. Demet never needed to prove anything to those who invent stories. She earned her place on her own merit, from humble beginnings to international recognition, always with discipline and perseverance. She does not need scandals to remain relevant. Her presence speaks for itself. What I admire most is that, despite the attacks, she has never stooped to that level. She does not respond with insults. She does not fuel controversy. She prefers to stay focused on her career, her projects, on what truly matters. I think this is one of the reasons she remains so beloved. Because she transmits authenticity. Because she is human. Because behind the fame, there is a person who also suffers but does not let wounds define who she is. Seeing her criticized or her image manipulated makes me indignant. Why is it so difficult to accept that a woman wants to live her life without constant explanations? This says more about society and the press than about her. If she were judged by her work and her art, there would be more respect and less noise. Demet represents a silent resistance. She does not need word battles. Her true response is to keep moving forward, not letting hate drag her down, staying true to herself. In conclusion, I feel that Demet Özdemir deserves much more recognition, not as Kaan's ex or as the subject of absurd rumors, but as a complete artist, a woman who has shown strength and dignity in every step. Negative comments will always exist, but time will put everything in its place. And for Demet, time will bring respect, admiration, and above all, the freedom to be who she wants to be, without chains or labels. Demet chose the harder path, but it's the cleaner one, and that choice comes at a price: loneliness, criticism, and sometimes misunderstanding. But it also brings a great reward: peace. And that peace is what we see reflected in her face, in her voice, in her career choices. She no longer needs to prove her strength. She's done it countless times already, not with words, but with actions. Today, while some still hope for a possible reunion with Kaan, fueled by nostalgia or a longing to relive what was, I only hope that Demet stays strong, that she doesn't look back, because the future she's building is bright, authentic, and free of shadows. And because true love, the kind she deserves, isn't the one that breaks you and then asks for forgiveness. It's the one that never makes you doubt your worth. Demet is not just a great actress. She is a woman who has learned to say no, who has set boundaries, who has chosen to love herself first. And in today's world, that is worth more than any fictional romance.